When you hit a wall, whether it's at work or some overwhelming personal stress or just a huge project with way too many parts, the hardest part isn't even finding a solution.
No.
It's knowing where the heck to even start.
Right.
We're human, so our instinct is just to react instantly, driven by emotion or, panic. And that instant reaction almost always makes things worse.
It does.
Yeah?
It absolutely does. When confusion hits, clarity and stability are the first things to go. Our brain just defaults to old patterns, which usually means repeating the same things that got us stuck in the first place.
So today we are diving deep into a framework that's designed specifically to stop that destructive cycle. We're looking at a system built to guide someone, maybe to guide you, from being completely confused and overwhelmed towards stability, structure, and, real forward movement.
Mm-hmm.
We are exploring the ESPA method.
And this method is essentially a systematic operating system for making decisions and for personal change. It's a proprietary framework. It's conversation-based, created by Ricky Davis Jr., and it really is the methodological backbone from Meelevate Solutions.
And the source material is really clear about this. This isn't just one part of what they do. It is the core philosophy. It has to be incorporated into everything.
That consistency is key.
It is, because the whole mission of the framework is to be, and I'm quoting here, simple enough for everyday use, yet powerful enough to handle these deep, complex challenges.
And that tension, between simple and powerful, that's what we need to unpack today. The goal is a comprehensive, repeatable process that replaces all that chaos with actual structure.
Okay, so what is it?
ESPA. It stands for Evaluate, Solution, Plan, and Action. 4 stages. And they have to be followed in that sequence if you want to get real-world results, not just, some intellectual idea.
I love the idea of an operating system, but let's be honest, putting structure around chaos is hard.
So let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
With the E. Evaluate. Let's do it.
The foundational premise is that, and the source says this explicitly, most people struggle because they react without understanding. We're just running on impulse all the time.
It feels true of modern life, doesn't it? We want the instant answer, the 5-step fix, before we've even really articulated what the problem actually is.
So how does this evaluate stage forcefully counter that immediate knee-jerk reaction we all have?
The whole purpose of evaluate is to apply what you could call enforced stillness. It is a mandatory pause. The guide's main role in this phase is to gain total clarity, which means they have to slow the situation down before any advice is even considered.
But doesn't that enforced stillness sometimes lead to overthinking? Especially for people who already struggle with anxiety, they feel like they have to act to be productive.
That's the psychological resistance right there.
Mm-hmm.
But the key function here is to overcome that feeling by turning the situation into data. You have to separate the facts from the feelings and the assumptions. When stress is high, those 3 things, fact, feeling, assumption, they get completely tangled. So the priority is clarifying the real problem, which is often hidden by all the emotional fallout.
So if someone comes in and says, my career's over because I missed this one deadline.
Exactly.
The evaluation stage separates the fact, a missed deadline, from the feeling, which is shame or fear.
And the assumption, which is, my career is over.
Exactly.
And to do that, you have to conduct a really thorough assessment. This means identifying emotional triggers, figuring out the client's current mindset, listing their actual available resources like time, money, their support network, and critically clarifying the desired outcome.
Because if you don't know the destination,
any road will do. And that's precisely how people get lost.
So what are the tools here? How does the conversation actually force that data collection?
It's deep, focused questioning. It goes beyond just, what happened. The questions have to reveal obstacles and internal beliefs. So, how did this specific event make you feel? Or what is the core belief that is stopping you right now? And maybe, what have you tried before and why do you think that failed? It's about building a map of their inner and outer landscape.
And for the person going through this, what's the payoff for that mandatory pause?
The result is feeling grounded, understood, and just fundamentally calmer. By objectively charting out their situation, the emotional intensity just drops. They go from, this is a disaster, to, okay, this is a challenge with these specific facts. And that clarity, that stability is non-negotiable before you can even think about a solution. You need a steady foundation.
Right. You can't build on shaky ground.
Exactly. So once we've done that rigorous evaluation, we know the position, the resources, the goal, then we can transition into the solution stage. We shift from just understanding the problem to actually defining a path forward.
This must be where possibility comes in. It has to feel like a huge psychological relief after the intense scrutiny of the evaluate phase.
It is, and this stage is so critical because, like we said, people aren't stuck because solutions don't exist. They're stuck because they don't know how to see them. They get this tunnel vision that's just focused on the immediate pain.
Right.
The solution stage forces them to pull back and survey the whole landscape.
So it requires creativity, which is so hard to access when you're stressed. What does the guide bring to the table here?
Perspective and creative exploration. This is not about giving generic advice. The sources really emphasize that any potential solution has to fit the client's personality, their core values, and their capabilities. A high-risk, high-reward solution is totally useless if the person is deeply risk-averse.
That makes so much sense. Generic advice fails because it asks you to basically become a different person just to execute it.
Precisely. So we explore multiple options, but we also highlight the risks and the benefits of each one and match them to what the person can actually do. The input here is about providing potential approaches or some critical mindset shifts, like reframing failure as feedback and even reinterpretations of the situation.
To help them see a path that minimizes self-sabotage.
We got it.
So the goal here is both practical and psychological. It's moving beyond the known problem and gaining, as the source says, hope, possibilities, and a renewed sense of control. It's the motivational bridge.
It is. Evaluation gave them clarity, solution gives them direction. Now they have the fuel they need, a realistic path they actually believe they can take to move into the next part, the structure of planning.
That structure is so vital, and it starts with the plan stage. This is where, abstraction meets reality. We have to bring up that quote that captures this shift perfectly. A solution without a plan is just an idea.
That quote is the linchpin of the whole framework. We have brilliant ideas all the time, right? But if they aren't broken down into steps you can actually execute, they just stay as wishes. The plan stage turns that chosen solution into a clear, structured, realistic path.
And this is where most people fail, isn't it? I mean, think of every New Year's resolution. They're fantastic solutions. I'm going to run a marathon.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they lack the structured, manageable daily plan that makes it possible. The devil is in the details.
So what are those details?
Planning means breaking the solution down into specific tasks, giving them time frames, setting priorities, and identifying all the tools and resources you'll need. If the solution is launch a new business, the first task can't be become profitable. It has to be something like research the required licensing in my city.
So it's meticulous, step-by-step design. But there's one detail the sources highlight that I find really insightful, including contingency options. Why is planning for failure so central to the plan stage?
Because the world rarely cooperates with your perfect plan. I mean, reality is that obstacles are guaranteed. So by building in contingency options, a plan B, a plan C, you preemptively remove the ability for a single challenge to just derail your entire momentum.
Okay.
When an obstacle shows up, you don't panic and go all the way back to the start. You just select the next plan and keep moving.
That's a huge psychological advantage. You're normalizing the challenge before it even happens.
Exactly. This is what makes the path forward manageable rather than overwhelming. The client leaves this stage knowing what to do, when to do it, and critically, how to adapt when they hit turbulence.
Which brings us to the final and I think most essential stage, A, for action. If the sources are right, the ESPA method creates real-world results because it prioritizes execution above everything else.
We're done with theory at this point.
It's time to move.
Right. The transition from P to A is where accountability takes over. Most people already have enough information. What they lack is direction, support, and that psychological push to actually act. So the action stage focuses purely on execution, removing barriers like fear and procrastination.
So what's the immediate directive here?
Building immediate momentum. The framework emphasizes taking the first step immediately. And that step has to be small, manageable, and tangible. It's not about finishing the marathon.
Right.
It's about tying your running shoes and walking out the door today. That tiny win creates confidence and makes the next step easier.
And to sustain that, you need some kind of infrastructure. This must be where the ongoing accountability systems come into play.
Yes, exactly. The sources highlight using support systems like weekly check-ins, progress reviews. This just ensures the client stays consistent and can troubleshoot small issues before they become huge derailments. The goal is to maximize the speed of execution and minimize how long you pause for.
It's fascinating because the whole process is self-correcting. If the action stage reveals some massive, unexpected flaw, You just temporarily cycle back to evaluate, adjust the solution, revise the plan, and then jump right back to action. It's like an engine for continuous improvement.
That iterative approach is what ensures that all the energy you spent in evaluation and planning actually translates into tangible, measurable change.
Yeah.
You end the process with visible progress, not just a binder full of notes.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second.
If we look at the ESPA method as a whole, it works so well because it intentionally balances two fundamental human needs: the need for emotional support and the need for practical strategy.
I see.
You feel deeply heard and grounded in that evaluate stage, which then allows your rational mind to rigorously go after the outcome that you laid out in the plan and action stages.
And having this simple, repeatable, recognizable framework provides a ton of consistency and reliability. So whether you're dealing with a career change or a relationship problem, the guide uses the exact same 4-step structure. That must build a lot of trust.
Absolutely. The structure itself is a powerful differentiator in a world that's just full of vague self-help advice.
To bring this all together for you, the listener, the sources use this perfect, relatable analogy that I think summarizes the entire flow. It shows how these stages interact seamlessly.
It's a great one.
Think of the ESPA method like a GPS system.
That comparison is brilliant because it really captures the sequential nature of the steps. They depend on each other.
Let's break it down. E for evaluate. That's your GPS locating your current position. It needs the facts, your street address, and it assesses the traffic, your stress, your feelings, your resources. It establishes definitively where you are right now.
Then S for solution is the system calculating all the potential routes. It might show you a fast toll road, a scenic detour, or a direct street that's often blocked. It explores all the realistic possibilities for getting to that destination you set in the evaluate stage.
P for plan. You select the best route, and the GPS generates the turn-by-turn directions. It breaks the huge journey down into specific, manageable steps: turn left in 500 feet, then merge right. It even shows you how to handle expected congestion.
The contingency options.
Exactly. And finally, A for action. That's the last essential step of pressing the gas pedal and starting to drive. You trust the guidance, you take the first turn, and you just submit to the process of execution, knowing that the system will guide you forward one step at a time.
Simple, structured, and fundamentally non-overwhelming.
So, to synthesize this deep dive, the ESPA framework is really a mechanism for turning emotional chaos into concrete forward movement. It forces clarity in the evaluate phase, unlocks realistic direction in the solution phase, turns ideas into manageable steps in the plan phase, and it all culminates in sustained momentum in the action phase.
And this framework forces us to confront a really profound paradox that's inherent in all personal growth. The action stage demands immediate, decisive execution to build momentum.
Right.
But the plan stage simultaneously requires a lot of time and effort to design contingency options, plan B, plan C, and so on.
So speed and preparation for failure.
Exactly. If real progress demands both, what does that suggest about the kind of mindset shift we need? Do we need to stop seeking this perfect, comfortable certainty and instead learn how to embrace the concept of, say, managed uncertainty to truly move forward? That's something worth mulling over.